sincere, whether politicians are saying the truth. You have to run sometimes to get out of the road when there's no traffic light. But one thing is sure, Nigerians want a conversation about their country. What we do on Politics with KO is get the conversation rolling about Nigeria and Africa. And it's 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time during the winter period. My name is Akabogu. This is Ben Television. My name is Akabogu. It's your program Politics with KO. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Difficult to actually pick what is sincere, whether politicians are saying the truth. You have to run sometimes to get out of the road when there's no traffic light. But one thing is sure, Nigerians want a conversation about their country. What we do on Politics with KO is get the conversation rolling about Nigeria and Africa. And it's 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time during the winter period.
Thanks for joining us. You're still watching Politics with KO. My name is Rose Peter Graham. Last week we played snippets of an interview we had with Mr. Tony Akabu. And after that clip rolled, when we were speaking to our guest in the studio, phone calls kept on coming in and they were talking about the things that Mr. Akabogu talked about. Then our producer and of course Akabogu said we must have him in the studio. So let us see what justice we could do to that topic. We're talking about the first 100 days of General Muhammadu Buhari, the president-elect from APC. The first 100 days of ease in office. So I must say that the 2015 general elections, we know it was charged with hate campaigns. When we talk about the campaigns, propaganda, I mean smear campaigns, you know, but there are other people who actually took their time to do what was necessary. They channeled their campaign with a lot of passion. They were talking positive things. And there were some people who individually, as a matter of fact, had a groundbreaking campaign. And one of those is Mr. Tony Akabogu. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
It's so good to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, so our interview that caused the stir, the controversy, the first 100 days in office of GMB. We want you to do us a recap. But before then, I talked about the groundbreaking campaign that you did. You know, I mean, if you could just shine some light on it. What was it that you did, and how did you go about them?
Thank you for having me on your show. It was in 2009 after, you know, Jonathan became the acting president. Then from that, you know, became the acting president and also representing PDP. So it took me about a week to profile the man, and evidently I knew that, you know, head on that this man is not fit for purpose. And I began, you know, thinking upon the fact that the country needed something better. And for Nigeria being as big as, you know, what we are, this sort of person should not have been allowed to become the president of the country, let alone acting president. So we set up a blueprint on how to get the man voted out if he had to run for presidency, you know, and he did. So what we did was to set up a platform on Facebook and all the social media, which is Nigerian Live TV, you know, on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all the social media platforms.
To just campaign to get out.
To get out Jonathan. That was the purpose.
Okay, so now with GMB in, what's the next plan of your group?
Well, the plan is very simple, like I explained to you. The same equal measure that we took on Jonathan, we will apply the same equal measure to GMB. We campaigned for him rigorously, and he's the right man for the job. Thank God he has won the election. But make no mistake, if he ever deviates from the path by which Nigerians voted for him, we will take him head on.
Okay, I'm going to take you quickly on this. Since GMB was elected, since he became the president-elect, we've been getting quite a number of advice from loyalists of President Goodluck Jonathan. Ngozi Okeje-Iweala, the Minister of Finance, she has come up to say this and that Jonathan should do. The Minister of Power has also come up with his. Even the Ben Bruce, the Senator-elect, has also come up to say GMB should do this, it should do that, it should cut off the 11th presidential fleet, is a waste. It should stop paying for pilgrimages and the likes. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, we have to use our head. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that you have to ask yourself what are these people's antecedents whilst Jonathan was in the office? Were they telling Jonathan the same thing they are telling Buhari now? They weren't. They were all in full support of Jonathan. Now that Jonathan has lost the election, they are now trying to make themselves relevant. But we know who they are, so that's not an issue.
So what do you think? Because quite a number of people are saying that GMB, being the president-elect, and is going to be, of course, the sworn in on the 29th of May, is going to be the president of Nigeria for all, not just for the APC faithfuls. So you should give a listening ear to them. No,
we're not saying that he's not going to give you a listening ear to anybody, but it's the relevancy of those people trying to advise you. It's like somebody making an analogy where you go into business and you make money. The next thing you see are very inconsequential people trying to give you advice. Yes, you will listen to everybody, but you now decide on which one to go along with. So for me, I think we have a barrage of people that are there to advise Mr. President. I don't think at this point in time we'll have to be listening to people that should have been making those suggestions to Jonathan whilst he was there for 6 years, but they weren't. So, but now they just woke up from bed and they're trying to advise Mr. President. No.
Okay, today we saw in the papers that Nigeria's debt is hitting 11 trillion naira. That is a lot, and that has done a whole lot of harm to the Nigerian economy. While we're discussing about the first 100 days in office, you mentioned how broke Nigeria is, and now we're talking about over 11 trillion naira.
Yes, it's very, very unfortunate, because if you look at when Obasanjo left government, he actually left a lot of money, for Nigeria. And the moment Jonathan became the acting president, so the first thing that he did was to begin to engage the governors forum, which was headed by Bukola Saraki. Yeah, he was the chairman of the governors forum. So, and one of the initial things that he did was to pacify them, to see a way for them to support him. And that was when they broke the ice, which is you have to just share, all the money that we have if you want to get our support. And, outrightly, the man just, shared that money to governors and used the rest to run the election. And the moment he began sharing that money and ran the country aground, the next thing that he did was, after he won the election, we were broke already. So if you recall, all he was doing was just borrowing.
No, but before you go too far, Bukola Saraki is a top member of the APC, and he gave that suggestion then.
Well, it wasn't for Bukola Saraki to make the suggestion all by himself. It was a collective in agreement within the governors.
But we still have such a person in the GMB's government. He is a senator-elect,
yeah,
and he's trying to be a senator. I mean, the Senate president.
Well, and that comes without saying of this federal character, you know, trying to zone things left, right, here, and center. But I mean, I think Buhari has made a statement that he wouldn't, he will not be, you know, not the word happy. He made a statement that, you know, he wouldn't want people of questionable character having to be Senate president or holding any top.
Okay, for you, what do you see, or what do you decipher for the first 100 days in office for GMB?
It's going to be difficult for using 100 days.
Yes, the first 100 days. What do you think that this administration can achieve? Well,
they can achieve a lot if they, like I said to you before, if they have set priorities. And I said from the word go from the 30th of May, we have to see the number of people and the caliber of people that GMB intends to bring aboard to serve in its government. That should give Nigerians the snapshot of where this new government is headed. So for me, I'm still waiting to see the kind and the caliber of people is going to bring on board. That will now, you know, give me a thorough picture of telling you exactly where the country is headed. So if you ask me, there are a certain number of things that I would like Mr. President to do. There are a number of parastatals or government agencies that have so much duplicity, like the EFCC, ICPC. We have the same thing in the police force. So he has to, first of all, look into what are all these parastatals doing, and find out the ones that needs to be collapsed. Also, he needs to look into Orasanya's report, you know, on the civil service. Orasanya's report, yeah. He needs to look into that. I'm not going to want to see him setting up a number of other committees. We have a lot of committees already that have dealt with a number of issues. All he needs to do is to dust those reports and look into that and see the ones that he needs to implement immediately.
Okay. You know, it's known to the world when the salaries of members of the National Assembly was told to the world how humongous they are. Do you think that in a democracy, GMB can touch the salaries of the legislators and the senators, House of Rep members and the senators? Do you think it can touch their salaries or all the other benefits that they collect?
You should also understand that the APC is in charge of the House of Rep and the Senate, and also they have, you know, the governors as well.
Okay.
So the fact of the matter is very simple. It wouldn't have been possible if you have the opposition that has an upper hand. But in this case, APC is in charge of Senate, House of Rep, and also presidency.
We're talking about people who have been feeding facts, who saw nothing wrong with it. And now they're coming back, and you're going to tell them that the usual 11 million allowance a month and the rest would be taken away from them. Would GMB be able to manage that?
Absolutely. So if GMB comes tomorrow and says...
Hold on before you answer. Let me take this phone call. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you. Thank you. My name is John, calling from Kambawa.
Thanks, John. You can go ahead with your contribution.
Your guest there, I believe, is a little bit closer to GMB. I want you to please give this advice to GMB. A lot of people campaign for GMB, which they are not APC members. So I will tell you the truth.
Yes.
My advice to him is this: if GMB can change that, I believe he's trying to create strong institutions.
Yes.
The institution is trying to create. What will be their foundation? What will be their foundation of that institution? What I mean by that is this: if GMB can involve the king in each state.
No, would you say that again, please?
If GMB will be able to involve the king in each state, in all the states, like in Lagos State now, Lagos State has be at least let's say 30% of people in that National Assembly. They should be the one to nominate at least let's say 30%, let's say 30 or let's say 15 senators in each state, either senator or House of Reps, so that they will also be members of the people making decisions in their state. Because if you watch the campaign, during the campaign...
No, sir, that is a bit complex. I am not getting you. I do not understand what you're saying. Are you saying you're...
Okay, are you hearing me properly now?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is, if the institution is trying to make, any institution we make in Nigeria that does not involve the king, the emir,
yes.
the Oba in Yoruba, the emir in the north, if they are not involved, my brother, we will still go back to this system.
Okay, thank you very much. I get your point. But don't you think we'll be dragging things if we're trying to involve royalties into in terms of developing the country? I don't know. So what do you think about that?
Well, if you ask me, there are quite a number of institutions that are actually being a clog in the wheel of our country, if I may say so. And one of which is the kingship, the Obas, the Emirs, the Ezes, and all that. To be honest with you, I don't believe in those institutions, because to me, they are, they might be of some essence, but I don't think we need that. We don't need that. All that GMB needs to do is very simple. Set up institutions, right? And empower people to run those institutions.
Okay.
Now, and also, when you talk about leadership, you have to look at the head. So if the head leads by example, if GMB leads by example, I think it will trickle down.
Okay, there's no doubt about it. Even we know that President Goodluck Jonathan actually fully recognized traditional rulers. He went to them, those in the West, and how they, gathered around him to pray for him. People talked about the significance, meaning different things. With I don't want to go into that, but the fact is that this institution is recognizable, but right into government, I don't know how well that can function. We have another caller. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, what's your name?
My name is Sam Akabu. I'm calling from Forest Hill in London. Okay,
sir. You can go ahead.
Yes. What I want to say is going to concern everybody. It's common ground that every time there's a new government in Nigeria, everybody seems to have the antidote to all our problems. But the major problem with us is us as citizens. That country needs a new orientation. Citizens need to be re-educated to appreciate that government cannot do everything. But as much as we are expecting from government, citizens should also be prepared to discipline themselves and do the right thing. But we never talk about ourselves. We always talk about the bad government. We know there are bad government, not just in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, but we also need to rededicate ourselves, do the right thing. Stop offering people bribes. Stop accepting bribes. If you don't offer people bribes, nobody will take bribe. I know things are difficult, you won't get things done. We need to rededicate ourselves as good citizens. That's all I need to say.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that contribution. So he said we can't leave it for the government alone, that every Nigerian must realize that in making the country better, it rests on them too.
Well, I quite agree with the caller, but the fact of the matter still remains that Nigeria is a very peculiar country. Very peculiar in the sense that our behavioral attitude is quite a bit difficult, at times if you're dealing with some of our people. So I think that the government has to set the tone. I recall when GMB was the head of state in Nigeria, the first time he came, the government, set the tone, and the citizens followed. Okay. The government has to set the tone, and once the government sets the tone and leads by example, I don't think that Nigeria is not a very difficult country to run.
Yeah. Okay, we have another club with before I take the caller, we heard yesterday that GMB was at a traffic point, and he actually asked his convoy to hold on, and that they must respect traffic lights, traffic regulations, and that each time they go out, they should lead by example. And I think, like you said, the government of GMB is setting the tone, even without being, you know, a military officer, because of course, you know, we have a democracy this time around. Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Catford.
Okay. Your contribution?
I just want to contribute to discussion that I discovered we are discussing on this program. What I can just say first is that we just generally have to thank God for His mercy that is enduring forever. Because what happened in Nigeria recently is a big war in another country. Because God waves the war from us. That is why we are talking like this. And then two, we should look at it that it's not anybody, or even no matter how spiritual person is, that made this General Buhari as an elect president. It was God Almighty that purposely want to show how powerful He is to the world, not only Nigeria.
Okay.
Then we should allow God to operate, bring of giving thanks to Him, and support this man with prayer. Every individual has his or her own skeleton.
Yes.
It is when we look at somebody that we now want to put all the burden on him that this is what's up. There is nothing from head to toes that doesn't have any skeleton in that cabinet in Nigeria.
Okay.
Generally.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution.
The regime of this man, when around 80, when he was a president, I can say the people that are saying something today, maybe they are in the school or some are very young during that period, they will know that this is the best regime so far in military we have in Nigeria during General Buhari and Tunde Jackson.
Yes.
So we should allow him. We are all this discussion, all these things. Most of people in their office, they even worse the way they maltreat their workers.
Yeah.
But when they come to here, they pretend as if they are very good. All this, they should allow God to finish His job with this man and support this man with prayer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. No doubt about it. It's by the grace of God. Some people would even tell you that God is a Nigerian. If not for God, this wouldn't have been possible. And of course, we know what the PDP are saying. They did not know what hit them, and most of them are just recovering from the shock. We actually also heard that the moment the president was called GMB to say congratulations, a lot of them were hospitalized. And I wonder why politics must be a do or die affair in Nigeria.
Well, first of all, I agree with the caller, but we cannot remove the fact that yes, the God, we can say God. Secondly, I am not an advocate of just God. All right? We have to be able to show God that we are not just sitting down and watching. If we had sat down, watched Jonathan and his gang, that would have railroaded the country, and we will be talking something different. You see, that is the problem that some of us have with this, thing about just you sit down, you pray to God, and everything works. No. Absolutely no. God helps those who help themselves, right? We had sleepless nights in this UK, in the US, both in Nigeria, out there on the street, on the cold, under the rain. Most of us we have children, but we were out there echoing, shouting, making so much noise that brought about this change.
Okay. You say, okay, we seem to have a caller on the line, but if I can quickly say this, General Obasanjo actually sent a message to GMB, the day after he was declared winner of the March 28 polls. And he said something that Nigeria is in serious trouble. A lot of things have collapsed, and GMB needs to fix this. Nigeria is so indebted today. But before you respond to that, let me take this caller. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, thanks for calling. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Birmingham. My name is Tola.
Tola?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I'm well done for the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate Nigerian people for putting a mark for our people's General Muhammadu Buhari. First of all, I'm not a politician. I've never joined any political party. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
But we did enough to make sure we can pay for General to come in. What I'm trying to say is that because when General was able to have a chance to rule in 1983 to 1984, hello?
We go ahead. Just keep talking. We can hear you.
Yeah. If the mistake we did that time is that because when I started studying the policy of General Buhari and Biafra, that they wanted to start implementing in 1983 to 1984. If we allow the man that time to rule us for 4 or 5 years that time, Nigerian life wouldn't have been like this as in Africa in extension.
That's true, Tola.
So now, please, I'm praying. The only prayer I'm praying for General now is, and I want every Nigerian to start praying for him. Please, I know he's going to stay there for 8 years, but we need to pray for him, not life, and a very good health. Because I can assure every Nigerian by the time Nigeria will rule Nigeria for 8 years, it's going to put us on a very sad footing.
Okay.
And Nigeria will never be the again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Okay, we could tell about your passion, your enthusiasm. That is quite commendable. We understand that. Okay, so Oga Akabogu, we were talking about the harm done to Nigeria. But let us look at the politicians or the officials, those who worked with President Goodluck Jonathan, who have been said to have ruined the Nigerian economy. What do you think that GMB should do? Should they go after them? Because a number of people say if he should do that, that would deter him from doing what he's meant to be doing, like, you know, reconstructing the economy. But what do you do? Should we allow them to go with the millions of dollars, trillions of dollars, if it gets it up to that? You know, should we just allow them to go away with the money stolen?
Well, thank you for that question. My understanding is that they have some sort of an obscure, peace, committee, which is headed by former President Abdul Salami Abubakar. I don't know what that peace committee means. I've said it many times and over again that Nigerians did not vote for GMB for giving anybody any soft landing. So the fact is very simple. There is a division of labor. He goes in there, he appoints people to run his policies, and that's it. He gives them the guideline, he gives them head on, tell them exactly what he wants, and that's very simple. So the fact of the matter is this: we are going to wait to see what he will do, but make no mistake, we've said it many times, those that have looted, misappropriated, squandered our money, they have to return the money, period. There is no negotiation. If he has any peace, whatever, with these people, that's their business. We want our money back.
So what can be done? What can we do as the people? What if he says, okay, like when he said he was going to draw a line, if you could tell us what he means by that he was going to draw a line and maybe he's going to let some of them off the hook. And maybe he would say that this is the time for reconciliation, then this is the time for building Nigeria. There's no need for us, fighting each other.
The fact of the matter is that GMB understands the power of the vote of the citizens. And he made it, I think, a few days ago. If he does not run the country the way the Nigerian people want him to run the country, he will be voted out. And I don't think he will want PDP to come back to to governing Nigeria in 2019. So the fact of the matter is very simple. Whatever and however he intends to recover our money, that's what we want. If he decides to have a soft landing for them, as long as our money is back.
Okay.
The country is broke. There is no money. There's no penny, no money. So Jonathan has been borrowing the country aground every single month.
I would say you should hold that thought. Let me take this caller. Hello, thanks for calling us. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Chooks. I'm calling from London.
Go ahead, Chooks. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to thank you also for bringing Mr. Tony. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Tony. Thank you, sir, for coming, and you're a breath of fresh air. And we need people like you, actually, because Nigerians have suffered a lot. My question to you, sir, is how do you think Mr. Tinubu will have a negative influence on Buhari, or what do you think? Because we heard that he had a negative influence on the Lagos State governor and all this thing. So what are we going to do? Because many of us we are really ready for everything, and we hope that this man, with all our leaders, like you did a lot of work, so that he will perform and show and prove that Africa to the world are not what that we are really accused of. That we can, if people say that if they say you are bad, prove who you are. So I think it's time for us to prove to the world that Africans can do something. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your questions.
So thank you for that program, the caller. I think the caller made a very, very valid point.
Yes.
The strategy there is very simple. Very, very simple, which a lot of Nigerians don't. They look at it. If you want General Buhari to succeed, the strategy there is that the entire citizenry of our country has to back him all the way through. The whole idea is very simple. This man is getting old. All right? We know his qualities. So the best thing that we need to do is to use him as effectively as we can to implement every single thing that we want. Sitting on the fence, praying only will not work. Keep in mind that he's just one man in the midst of criminals. Emphasis, criminals. So he's kind of like in the pond. So the support base has to come from Nigerians. If we support him fully, right, and all these guys will just back off. As for Tinubu, I am not sure. I don't think that Tinubu will want to.
Is he progressive?
Yeah, I don't think he will want to scuffle what they've labored. Yeah. He's an oracle. Tinubu is an oracle, right? So he made this possible. We cannot take that away from Tinubu. We cannot. So we indulge him to make sure that he supports General Buhari. No negative, nothing. If they try to do that, we as Nigerian citizens we will not take it.
Okay, I'll take the next caller. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Thanks for holding on. Hello. Hello. Okay, I think we lost that caller. There's the impression that I'm getting when I read the papers or listen to the news. It's like, is there no other, someone in Nigeria that can stand out without corruption? Is it just the man GMB? And if it's just the man GMB, he's getting old. What is happening in Nigeria? Are we so filled with healed-mannered persons or characters?
A very interesting question, and I would like to answer this carefully so that Nigerians will understand. When I kept emphasizing the need that we must have Buhari, yeah, I do not blame people that said, what are you talking about? Are you saying that this is the only man in Nigeria that can govern Nigeria? I said to them, yes. Emphasis, yes. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is very simple. Nigeria is run by proxy. The people that run Nigeria are the retired generals working behind the scene. As long as they have somebody like Jonathan at the helm of affairs, their job is done until they die. So why Buhari? Buhari
is also a general.
Yes, but he does not get along with them. He's on the other side. So as a strategist, as a political strategist, what do? You bring in that person that does not agree with those sides that are running Nigeria as proxy.
Okay.
So you bring him in to counter whatever they have.
Okay.
And that's why Buhari is the only candidate. So he has all the qualities.
Okay.
And he has every single thing that they have as well. The clout they have.
Okay. That's good. Thank you, sir. I have a caller. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Rachel Mama. I'm
Hi.
from London.
Thank you for calling us, ma. You can go ahead.
Can we go back to no,
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, this is the old lady, Mama. How are you all?
We're fine.
Okay, please, that man. I would like this man sitting by your side talking.
Yes.
He's an honest somebody.
Oh,
as
that's
honest
good.
as show your day. I don't know the man. I only came from outside after voting, so I didn't know where he started from. All I know is that what this man is saying is the truth, because I was at home in Nigeria for 1.5 years when Idiagmo and Buhari were there. Please, we enjoyed the time. And let's all pray for this man to be able to do all the things he promised to do for Nigeria. He's the most honest man I've ever seen in life. And the man talking, please, we want plenty of those people to be on best television to tell us the truth at all times. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, she's paying you some huge compliments there.
Yeah,
it's good to be honest. Okay, I actually have here, you spoke to us earlier on about the toxic loans that the Jonathan administration collected and they've been collecting. Also about the $12 billion that he borrowed from China to build railways. And of course, we know there are consequences of these loans. Can you shine more light on that?
You know, at times I do get myself into trouble the way I speak and also how blunt I am. The fact of the matter is that I'm so passionate about our country that I don't give a hoot about whoever is the president, because I think and I believe that the office of the president is more powerful or more supersedes whoever that occupies it. So back to your question. Jonathan don't like Nigeria. It's hard for a lot of people to believe that. He's not passionate about the country. He's not. Because if you love your people, you will not be working towards destroying the country. All right? Now, the funny thing about that is this, and you said you have PhD, you're a PhD holder. You now set out to go to China. You borrowed money from China to do what? To do railway. And you bring in locomotive trains into Nigeria, right? You don't have any single bill, any single health and safety bill in Nigeria. You cannot run a railway in a country without a health and safety bill. That's one. Secondly, we all know that when you go to China to borrow money, there are consequences. So what happens? A lot of Nigerians don't even know this. He goes to borrow money. He borrows money from China. China says what to you? China says, okay, we're going to borrow this money to you, but we will equally give you the contractor that will do the project at this interest rate. So China is providing the funds, 12 billion, and they're also providing the contractor. So the money doesn't even leave China. That money doesn't leave China. So it is, okay, Mr. Contractor A, go to Nigeria and do this project. Money goes from one account from China into the account of the contractor in China. Nigeria pays interest rate upon that amount borrowed.
For how long?
I don't know how long this particular contract is. But I know that all the other toxic loans that he borrowed, most of them are 45 years. Most of them are 45 years, between 40 to 45 years.
And Nigeria is going to be...
And Nigeria is going to be paying that. So I wonder how we're going to pay all that.
Okay, let me take this caller. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello, you can go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, well, the guy is speaking. Anyway, my name is Dr. Lawrence.
Dr. Lawrence from?
Well, I'm from London.
Please, can you be fast because we don't have much time.
Now, well, the travesty is that the man that's speaking there, he shouldn't actually be on tele, because the man does not understand the issue.
Okay.
He's talking about Goodluck Jonathan not liking or loving Nigeria. He comes from the East who wanted to secede. If he knows what loving a country is, you cannot tell me that those of us who come from Niger Delta, we give Nigeria not only the oil, we give both Nigeria our own well-being. We give Nigeria our environment. It is sad that the way you want to describe Goodluck Jonathan is what it. I mean, if you are talking about Buhari, what about Tinubu, who is supposed to be corrupt? Those other people, America bankrolled Buhari's campaign, gave him a plane to run around campaigning. Where did America get money from? Will he be probing America and Tinubu?
Okay.
So these are the things you don't take into account. You don't even understand how China and Nigeria work. China and Ethiopia also work on railways. It's working well for Ethiopia.
Okay.
For Ethiopia, why will it not be good for Nigeria? Ethiopia is the fastest growing economy in Africa, thanks to China. So stop making those things remarks that you have no clue about. People like you shouldn't be on the telephone in the first place.
Hello, sorry sir, I didn't get your name, but you know what I would love you to do? You could actually express your opinion without throwing insults at my guest. I don't think that is very necessary. We're all Nigerians. You're actually bitter, and there's someone here who is giving us, some good advice how to run the country. You've heard other callers call in and the positive things they've been saying, and you come here to throw stones. This is what we don't need, sir. Such characters we don't need. Do you have anything to say?
Well, the caller, thank you for calling, but he has just said that he's from Niger Delta.
Yes.
And I'd like to respond. I'm from the East, but I'm a detribalized Nigerian, and I don't have any apologies for that. So the fact of the matter still remains that Jonathan does not even love his people. Because if he loves Niger Delta, can you tell me what he did 6 years in the Niger Delta? He did nothing. Zero. Nothing. So I don't understand why our people, both from Niger Delta, Southeast, Southwest, North, I don't understand this toxic, relevance to Jonathan. The man has run Nigeria aground. The country is broke. And somebody is referring me as we're not talking about East. We're not talking about seceding. Those that are talking about seceding have got nothing to do with that. The fact of the matter is that we're talking about Nigeria. We're not talking about East. We're not talking about the Niger Delta. But since you brought in Niger Delta, yes, tell me what Jonathan did for Niger Delta. Nothing.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, that's how much we could take. We really do appreciate your coming.
Thank you.
You've been able to shine a lot of light on what you'll be doing next. And of course, for GMB, what we expect him to be doing. And of course, you know that Professor Wole Soyinka went to the US. He gave a lecture. I actually got this on Premium Times. It actually says Americans are actually finding it, or the scholars in America, they're actually finding it difficult to believe the blend of that Nigerians have a blend of a Muslim Northern and a Christian Southerner as our choice of elected, elected to the office of the presidency. They cannot imagine how Nigerians can manage to elect a Muslim and a Christian together. The fact is that Nigerians know what they want, and we're making the world wonder. That's the much we could take on the program. Thanks for joining us. My name remains Rose Peter Graham.
It's your program, Politics with KO. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Difficult to actually pick what is sincere, whether politicians are saying the truth. You have to run sometimes to get out of the road when there's no traffic light. But one thing is sure, Nigerians want a conversation about their country. What we do on Politics with KO is get the conversation rolling about Nigeria and Africa. And it's 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. Nigerian time during the winter period.